Hello, everyone. Happy Monday. We are going to be starting our webinar on everyone's favorite topics, which is the RSPO ACOP and shared responsibility. So I'm going to share my screen here because we do have some slides to show you. Okay, Carlota and Joyce, can you give me a thumbs up if you can see that? Awesome. Okay, again, so welcome everyone. This webinar is going to be on the RSPO ACOP and shared responsibility. Today you'll be hearing from me. My name is Chelsea Welmer. I'm the Assistant Manager Market Transformation with the RSPO for North America. I am based in Colorado. On this call, we also have Carlota Ferrari. She is the Manager Market Transformation for North America with the RSPO. She is in New York. And then Joyce, if you want to introduce yourself really quick.
Sure. So I'm Joyce van Wijk. I'm the Shared Responsibility Manager, and I'm based in the Netherlands.
Awesome. Thank you, Joyce. And so I will be talking a little bit about the RSPO ACOP. Carlota is available in the background. If you do have questions while we're talking, feel free to throw them up in the chat and she can help answer those. We will also have a Q&A session at the end of this call to help answer any other questions you might have. So throw them in the chat, hold on to them, whatever is your preference. And then Joyce will be talking about shared responsibility. So annual communication of progress. We are in that time period of the year where it is your responsibility to submit an ACOP to the RSPO. It is open right now. Here are some quick facts for you though. So to submit your ACOP, you do need to do that through the My RSPO member portal. You should have the login information for that if your company is a member of the RSPO. If you are having issues logging into my RSPO, please let Carlota and I know. I'll also share contact information at the end of this presentation if you do not have it. The deadline for submission for the ACOP is on May 29th. I'm putting that May 29th at 12 a.m. for Malaysia time. So maybe do a little bit of math and figure out what that converts to you. So it'll likely be earlier in the day on May 19th. So don't wait until the last minute. I'll say try to submit that as soon as you can. But yes, the deadline is Friday, May 19th. What you are going to be reporting on is information from the previous year. So right now, even though it's 2023, you're going to be reporting on calendar year 2022. So whatever your company did in the calendar year 2022, that's what you need to be talking about. If it happened earlier than 2022, should have already been reported in your ACOP if you remember then. If it already happened this year, hold on to it for next year. So just 2022. Also a reminder that whatever you submit in your ACOP, it is public information. We do post the ACOP to your membership page on the RSPO website. So please keep that in mind when you are entering the information and submitting to us, that it will become public. The ACOP is mandatory if you're an ordinary member or an affiliate member and you've been a member of the RSPO for at least 1 year. So if your company is not ordinary, if your company is not affiliate, you do not have to fill out the ACOP, though it is encouraged and you are able to, it is not mandatory. It should also be noted that if your company is part of a group membership, the responsible party for submitting that ACOP is actually your parent company. They'll submit aggregated data in their own ACOP that should cover your supply chain and whatever you're sourcing or your activities. So all of that information is in there. I will be sending this out also as a PDF after the presentation as well as the recording. There are going to be a couple links, including that My RSPO portal link, so please use them. If you need support on your ACOP, our membership team and Carlota and I can help you log into My RSPO portal. That is our membership team's email up there. They are in Malaysia though, so please keep that in mind that there is going to be a little bit of a delay in them getting back to you just because of the time difference. So again, if you can't log into My RSPO, please contact us ASAP. We also have a team that is directly responsible for the ACOP. They can help you if you didn't receive an email, for example, to start your ACOP report and you believe that you are responsible for an ACOP report, please contact them. It could be that we don't have the correct contact information for your company. If you need to make changes or corrections to an already submitted ACOP, they can also help you with that. Really, any questions you might have about the ACOP, they're your team to go to. I do recommend CCing Carlota and I in those emails just because we can also help with that communication and making sure if it's a really timely question that you get the answer as soon as you can, and we're not delaying anything on your end. The big question we always get to is if there is an extension for the ACOP. There technically is. If you need an extension, you are able to email the ACOP team, and they will give you about a 1-week extension. I will want to let you know, though, that if you do decide to go that route, you will get what we call a warning the following year. So there will be a note in your membership file that your last year's ACOP was late. And if you continue to submit late ACOPs, or if you don't submit at all, you will start to progress through a system where first it's a warning, then it's a membership suspension, then ultimately a membership termination. So we don't want that to happen. One late submission is just a warning, nothing bad will happen. But if we continue to see it happen, or if you fail to submit, that's when we start to see more serious penalties. So feel free to talk to Carlota and I if you have any questions about that. Other resources, as we noted, that the ACOPs are public, so they are on RSPO membership pages. If you'd like to see samples of an ACOP, you can go in there and look at any ordinary member or affiliate member's page and see their ACOP. So feel free to look at your peers. If this is your first year submitting and you don't know what it looks like, you can go in there and look to see what your fellow peers have submitted before if you want to get a feel for the ACOP. Or if your company has submitted ACOPs before, and maybe this is, you personally, your first year submitting on behalf of your company, you can go in there and see what your company has submitted in previous years. That could be a good guide for you as well. We do also have a PDF of our ACOP guidelines that does include all the ACOP questions for this reporting period. So you can review those questions before you actually start submitting them into My RSPO. That could be a good way for you to plan. We also have a couple of videos. One covers what is the ACOP, and the other one covers the ACOP process and 6 easy steps. Again, I will be sending this out after the webinar is over, so you can use those links to access those videos and those guidelines. Okay, next, shared responsibility. So Joyce, this is on to you.
Thank you, Chelsea. Yeah, just to give you a small update on shared responsibility, a refresher and a reminder how it links to ACOP and what else is needed in terms of for shared responsibility. Just a very brief summary and refresher what it is about and to who it applies. So RSPO launched its shared responsibility framework back in 2019, and it's really there to set commitments for all our members, non-grower members, to take their responsibility and try to make sustainable palm oil the norm. So it's a framework that applies to all ordinary non-grower members. So this does not only include supply chain actors like processors and traders, consumer good manufacturers and retailers, but it also applies to banks and investors and social and environmental NGOs. The only exempted members within this scope are members that only hold a trader or distributor license. Then you're exempted from the shared responsibility requirements. So if you're an affiliate member and you're currently on the call, you can simply just listen, but you don't need to do anything additionally to your ACOP reporting. On the next slide, we see a brief overview of all the shared responsibility requirements. Yes, thanks. So in total, there are 29 requirements. We can categorize them in 4 thematic areas. So the first bucket of requirements is around transparency and legality. Then we have a set of social requirements, a few environmental requirements, and the one I think most it's been mainly the focus on is around uptake. So for all of these, we have different requirements specific for each sector. If you would like to know more, in the endorsed document, which is included in the resources in the last slide, you can find the specific requirements for each of the sector. Yeah, because we feel every sector has its own responsibilities, so the requirements do really reflect what is in scope and what is actually for the sector in their mandates to pull within the palm value chain. On the next slide, we see how you can report your commitments to the shared responsibility requirements. So first of all, you are already reporting in ACOP. So this is one of the requirements within shared responsibility as well. So within your ACOP, there is a shared responsibility section with a few questions that follow the SR requirements. So similar topics as you just saw on the previous slide. But additionally to this, we also require our ordinary non-grower members to submit the evidence that show their compliance to the requirements into their My RSPO profile. So this is the same portal where you do report your complete your ACOP report, but it's a different section. We do have guidance how to get there and how to update this section. But basically within that section, you will submit your policies and plans and whatever is required by the shared responsibility requirements to show that you're committed to these topics. If you, however, do not have a certain policy in place, or it's not public, or any reason like you're not there yet in your sustainability journey, then you can choose to give a declaration of support. So it's a statement that you can tick on your profile saying that you do acknowledge this requirement or topic and you support it, but at this point you do not have this implemented. So it's a little bit different to ACOP because you can report within this profile at any time of the year. However, we do have some deadlines that to meet if you want to have your performance updated in the scorecard. So on the next slide, there's a little bit more on the scorecard. So end of April this year, we launched the Shared Responsibility Scorecard. And what we try to do is to create a transparent and monitoring system showing where members are with their sustainability journey defined by the RSPO Shared Responsibility Framework. So what we do, we use data that you report in your ACOP report, but also in your My RSPO profile, and we make it more transparent, more accessible for our members, and we calculate 4 simple scores for each of those 4 thematic areas, which will be annually updated on this scorecard. As it was just launched in April, that showed the data as of March 2023. But if you would like to increase or improve your shared responsibility score as it's currently published, I would recommend you to have a look at your profile and update it before the 1st of July this year. So then it will get included in the next update of the scorecard in September. And after this update, it will be annually updated in September. Sorry for the different timelines, but I would first focus on getting your ACOP report in, and then would be great if you could have a look at your My RSPO profile and to update the SR section there. The next slide, as Chelsea already mentioned, she will share the PDF, but these are a few resources that you could look into. So it's the requirements themselves, the guidance on how to update your profile. There are FAQs, a few fact sheets are there. So basically that's where you should go if you would like to know more. If you ever need support or you're not sure if your policy is compliant with the requirement or any other similar questions, please feel free to reach out to the North America team or the Shared Responsibility team, and we can there support you. That was it from me. I'm not sure, Carlotta, if there are any questions so far?
Yes, we had a question about credits that I answered. I'm not sure if everyone can see it, but just so you're aware, the question was like, if your company needs to book and claim addition for like credits towards 2022 year, if the company is able to put those volumes on the ACOP if claimed before May 19, and the answer is yes. If they're claimed before May 19th, for the year 2022, then you can add them to this ACOP. They should be part of this ACOP. And remember, you can claim credits from the purchase day. So if you purchase today, you can claim 1 year back up until May 2022 or 1 year forward for the following year.
Awesome. Thank you, Carlota. And then really quick, so some other news. Just as a reminder, we do have the first North and South American conference happening in North America. We're calling it our Inter-American Conference. It will be happening in Miami, Florida, May 30th to 31st. There are still a limited number of tickets available. So if you have been thinking about attending, I recommend looking into that soon, as well as I know our hotel is booking up really fast. So just make sure to check that out. And if you have any questions, please let Carlota and I know. We will both be there, as well as a lot of folks from kind of all over the world with the RSPO. So we're all excited to see everyone in person for the first time in a long time. And then, go ahead, Carlota.
No, we have a question for Joyce.
Oh, perfect. Okay, so question time.
Yes. So the question is whether this separate shared responsibility reporting is new this year. It's actually not. So it's been in place since the launch of the framework. So within ACOP, you do fill in the shared responsibility section, and then there was always a reminder stating that to actually go into your portal and your profile to provide the evidence to show compliance. Because within your ACOP report, it's a simple yes or no, and we ask our members to actually upload the evidence or update it into their profiles. And again, this will be public as well, same with the ACOP report. So what is new is the scorecard, and that's basically just pulling those public data, which is already on your profile, and to just shape it in a more accessible and more transparent format, which is easier to access for all our stakeholders. So the reporting is not new, it's just the scorecard, which makes it a bit more transparent and visible, is indeed new.
Perfect, thank you, Joyce. And then, yeah, if anyone else has any questions, please feel free to type them in and we'll start answering them. Really quick, I do know, Joyce, I actually have a question for you. That's one we get a lot from our members here in North America regarding shared responsibility. So for example, there are requirements on like GHG emissions, water use. Does the policy they upload or that they have to be specifically like water use around palm oil, or are you looking for more general policies on these topics?
That's a really good question. So I think the requirements, the scope is the members' operation related to their palm activities. Because as you can imagine, if you're further down the supply chain, it might become a bit tricky. So as long as palm is included, it can be a very general policy that covers multiple commodities or even your entire operations. So it doesn't need to be specific a palm oil policy. It can be a generic policy indeed.
Awesome. And then we have a lot of other questions in here. Okay, so what time is the ACOP deadline in Eastern time? That is a really great question. And I'm going to have to do some math here really quick to convert it. So I'll take that one if you give me 1 second. And then Carlota, there are a couple other questions in the chat as well, if you want to answer those.
While you're calculating time zone, I can take the question on the communication regarding shared responsibility. So some of the retailers that have got their contact in their register to receive any communications, they might have received communication on a guidance document. So the shared responsibility working group consists out of members that represent their constituency, and Julian Walker Payne, who is I think his email said Itante. I'm sorry if I pronounced it incorrect. But he is representing the retailers. And one of the activities that we're currently doing with the working group is creating practical guidance alongside the shared responsibility requirements to help our members with the implementation. So it will give practical examples, some definitions, and one of the activities that the working group members are currently doing is really trying to get input from the other members within their caucus, within their constituency, to really get those practical examples and to make it very well, that it's usable for all of the other members. So there might be some misunderstanding in it. So Julian was just looking for input. So if you do have some time and you would like to review that document, that would be great. And if you do need support, you can always reach out to Julian again or myself, and we can have a separate call on this.
Awesome. Thank you, Joyce. And then for the question about the time difference. So like, let's just say like 11:59 p.m., just so we're not, jumping over that 12 a.m. cutoff. 11:59 p.m. Malaysia time would be 10:59 a.m. Eastern time. So that's I think a 13-hour difference. So 10:59 a.m. Eastern, 7:59 a.m. Western or Pacific. So feel free to ask us any other questions around that if you need to, but yeah, so you want to submit it in the morning.
To answer one of the questions about the newer SAMs and what more requirement to move to segregated POM as mass balance is no longer sufficient, Chelsea and I can help you, and we can provide a list of people that we know are providing segregated and that can provide that to you. So please contact us directly and we can kind of guide you in the right direction of where to look for that.
So I can take the one, whether if you are an importer or distributor, if you do only need a policy or if you need a program for water usage, etc. So this relates to shared responsibility requirements, and depending on whether you do have a distributor or trader license, that requires you not to be exempted from the requirement. Sorry. So there is a form that you need to fill in to be able to get the license. But if you do have that license already, you're exempted from the requirement. But if you are not exempted, then you just need a policy or a plan indeed, how you're gonna monitor it, what is your waste recycling plan, etc. It's not like a full program, but just about uploading your policy or plan that will be sufficient if you do need to comply with the SR requirements.
Awesome. And then we'll give it about another minute for you to type in any other questions you might have into the chat. But just as a recap, ACOP reporting is live now. Please log into my RSPO to do that. If you have trouble logging in, let us know. If you haven't gotten an email yet and you believe that you are responsible to submit an ACOP report, also please let us know, because it's really important that you actually submit that. And then if you do have any questions about shared responsibility, I have included shared responsibilities email in here. Again, I'll be sending this out, but please feel free to ask them questions. Remember that what you submit through the ACOP and what you submit on my RSPO for shared responsibility is made public on your membership page on the website. And yeah, we're here to support. I know we have a little over 2 weeks until the deadline for the ACOP submission. So just make sure to reach out to us sooner rather than later. And then finally, just a reminder, we do have that conference coming up at the end of May. That does mean that Carlota and I are a little busy. So again, if you do have questions, let us know now before we're sucked in even further into conference planning. But we would love to see you at the conference if you can make it. And it looks like, any more questions in the Q&A? Nope. Awesome. So that means that we get to end early and give everyone about half an hour back of their time. So thank you everyone for attending. Don't be a stranger, please reach out and have a good rest of your week.